Hello, my name is Chase Wilson. I am a senior architecture major student at Belmont University, and this is what I create. Hello, my name is Chase Wilson. I'm an architecture major senior at Belmont University. I am from Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana, but my dad's in the military, so I moved around a lot of places, but I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee now. So I was a physics major first when I came into Belmont, and that was not the vibe. It's not like high school. And then they opened the architecture school the same year my sophomore year started. So I transferred into architecture because it still had that kind of engineering, kind of sciencey math feel, but it wasn't as like theoretical. It was way more conceptual when I could get a hold of it. And it also kind of let me exercise my design skills, my creative skills, and kind of learn about buildings. And I thought that was really, really cool. So that's why I'm into architecture here. But I like to kind of approach problems and situations and issues with an open mind, and I want to kind of see how I can develop or kind of approach a problem in the best way possible that benefits me and other people, and kind of be like a problem solver. But I would say I lean towards more very modest, not a lot of crazy shapes or not a lot of crazy heights, just very simple, modest, 1-2 floor kind of stuff. So it's very simple, I think, right now, but maybe when I get farther into it, I'll develop more complicated stuff. I think a good thing about our architecture studio class is that they make us do a lot of different stuff. They make us do a lot of different projects, with different prompts, different context, and different requirements. So I am getting into that more complicated stuff now than my third year. I want to kind of lean more into very simple, modern stuff that's not too crazy, just so I can make sure my concept is really strong, because I'm really more concept focused more than structure focused. Less is more. Less is more. I inspire myself to where I want to evolve and get better as my next design is better than my last one, or I take something that I learned from my last design and apply it to the next one. So if I see my drawing getting better over 2 projects and I want to keep going. I know I couldn't draw for Jack, but now you can actually see the perspective, oh my God, you can see a hallway. I could not do that 2 projects ago. So just getting better in my craft and developing my skills is what keeps me trucking on. We only had 23, 25 people in our cohort, in our first cohort. So everybody knew each other, and we all had the same classes. We had no choice but to know each other. We help out each other. It's not really competitive at all. And this is where I get my work done. We have pinup boards everywhere. So if you want to keep progress about what you've been doing, you can pin it up on the wall and someone can look at it, give you feedback or anything like that. So this is kind of home base, the Hitchy building. We had to make a pavilion that goes outside in front of the bell tower. We did design that. We had to design a movie theater, a community center outside of the bell court. So the parking lot where the bell court is, we built a community center in that parking lot, a summer camp thing that goes up in the summer. So they're all conceptual, but they're not real, but they're for our conceptual, how do we come up with the process? So House for Poet was last semester's final project. We actually got to present it at architecture firm. An architecture firm came here and they looked at our project. So I thought that was really, really cool. We got connected with them. So it's it was a 1-story house for an older lady. She moved from Japan and she was in love with nature. That was her her thing. So we had to kind of develop a house that was elderly, accessible for elderly people, and also brought in nature and kind of spoke to nature in the house. So I had these little courtyards inside of her house. So there's one courtyard in the front, and then there's another courtyard in the back. And then in her main bedroom, in her master bedroom, the garden actually goes into her bedroom. So while she's in her bedroom, so she still has that access to her garden. I thought that was pretty interesting. Parking Day was this global event where people rent out parking spaces, and then the cars can't park there. And then companies and architecture students and architecture firms and community leaders come in and they design a parklet, a mini park inside of a parklet. And we have that. We get to design the chair, cut the wood, and put the chair together so people could sit in it. And we had we built this kind of cool little house border frame, and it was really cool. So this is an award we got for Parking Day. So when you do Parking Day, there's different award categories. And Belmont University, as a class, it was me, Tess, TJ, and Kaylee, and we all worked together to design the parklet, and then we got judged on it. And we got the Golden Cone Award for most equitable. And it was kind of, our parklet idea was to kind of advocate for the working class, middle class, minority workers that were kind of overexploited and underpaid in their jobs in the construction industry and the service industry and stuff like that. And then we also had these chairs that this is where the chairs come in. So like the chairs represented, each piece is like separate, but they all come together to build one chair. Like that was kind of like the metaphor for like community and collaboration, where if people work together, they can build something that's from pieces into one cohesive unit, and you can actually sit in it. So, architecture has a really important role in kind of social and like economic equity. So I feel like it's very important for architects and people and firms to know that if they build something, it should positively impact the community and like who's in the community itself, and not just like be a beautiful building. I want to build for people, like for other people. Like I want to build like for specific clients, and I want to make sure that they get their message across. I want to make sure that they get the building that they were thinking of or that they wanted. I'm not just drawing on paper just for funsies. Like I'm going to go doing on paper, getting the concept down, getting the design down, getting the structural analysis down, and then developing it, and then it becoming like an actual thing. And then that'd be like so cool. Like, bruh, I just drew that, and like it's there in 3D in real life. I'm gonna get real deep. Architecture has been like around for thousands of years, like even like for old societies and for like variety of cultures, for the variety of people, variety of societies. Like architecture is like where you kind of experience like love, experience heartbreak, you experience you go through everything. Like architecture sees all. Like you do things inside of buildings, you do things outside of buildings, but surrounded by buildings. So I feel like architecture has seen us been through it all. Like architecture has seen us cry and laugh and like party and all that. But like if architecture has seen us do that, we should also recognize architecture back. And like I feel like we need to like use it to better our communities and stuff like that. So it's been around for too long to not be important. Being creative, I don't think you have to produce something all the time. I feel like it's just sharing your thoughts. Like you think differently than everyone else. You talk a certain way, you act a certain way, you perceive things a certain way. And I feel like creativity is just about how you make something, you produce something, or you come up with something that is for you, that is about you, that represents you. So I think creativity, everyone has it. Some people might be different at sharing it. Some people might have a hard time producing it and communicating it, but it's all there and everyone has it. It's like, why is breathing important? Like it's the same thing.